Once upon a time, in a lush and vibrant forest, there lived a rabbit named Swift. Swift was renowned far and wide for his incredible agility and unmatched speed. With every leap and bound, he zipped through the underbrush, his powerful legs propelling him forward with such force that it seemed he barely touched the ground. Swift's quick hops and lightning-fast sprints were famous throughout the woods, and he had earned the admiration and envy of many animals who witnessed his feats. To him, speed was everything. Each day, Swift would challenge other animals to races, not out of necessity but simply to remind everyone, including himself, of his supremacy. He would race squirrels darting between branches, outrun deer sprinting through meadows, and even challenge birds to short dashes along the ground. Each victory deepened his belief in his own invincibility, and with each race, his arrogance grew. Hello everyone! Check if you're already subscribed to the channel and if not, go ahead and subscribe and leave a like. Yet in that same forest lived a very different creature, a tortoise named Serena. Serena was the complete opposite of Swift in every way imaginable. Where Swift's movements were quick and erratic, Serena's were slow and measured. Where he was brash and boastful, she was humble and thoughtful. The younger animals in the forest often made fun of Serena's slow pace. They would giggle and whisper, wondering how she managed to get anything done at all. But Serena, with her wise old eyes, never let their teasing get to her. She knew something that they didn't, that her strength lay in her steady consistency. While Swift sprinted and rested, she kept moving forward, one step at a time. Swift's boastfulness grew more and more with each race he won. He would often be seen bragging to a group of admiring animals, recounting his victories with dramatic flair. "No one can match me," he would say with a grin, chest puffed out. "Speed is everything in life. Without it, you're left behind." The other animals would nod in agreement, but deep down, some of them wondered if there was more to life than just racing to the finish. One sunny afternoon, a crowd of animals had gathered near a sparkling stream to drink from its cool waters. Swift, as always, was surrounded by admirers. He was boasting about how he had beaten a family of deer in a sprint that very morning. As he stood there, basking in the glow of their applause, he loudly proclaimed, "For someone as fast as me, there's nothing to worry about. No one in this forest can outpace me." Serena, who was resting in the shade of an ancient oak tree nearby, listened quietly. For some time she had observed Swift and his constant need for validation. She slowly lifted her head, her gaze calm and steady. "Speed is important, Swift," she said in her soft, measured voice. "But there's something you still don't understand. Effort, patience, and determination can overcome any challenge, even speed." The forest fell into a stunned silence. No one had ever dared to challenge Swift in such a direct way. The animals turned to Serena, intrigued by her boldness. Swift, however, was incredulous. He burst into laughter, his voice echoing through the forest. "Effort? Determination? Are you seriously trying to say that a slow tortoise like you could beat me in a race?" he mocked, barely able to contain his amusement. But Serena, maintaining her serene composure, simply replied, "Why don't we find out?" The forest was abuzz with excitement. The idea of a race between the speedy rabbit and the patient tortoise spread like wildfire. Animals chattered in hushed tones, wondering if Serena truly believed she had a chance. Many thought she was simply setting herself up for embarrassment. But others, particularly the older animals who had seen more of life, were curious to see what would happen. The wise old owl, who had lived in the forest for generations, was appointed as the judge. Course was set. The race would begin at the grand oak tree, wind its way through the dense forest, past the babbling brook, and up to the top of Rainbow Hill, a spot known for its breathtaking view and the wildflowers that bloomed there every spring. As the day of the race approached, the forest came alive with energy. Birds flitted from branch to branch, spreading the news. The squirrels and chipmunks gathered extra acorns to munch on as they watched. Even the reclusive foxes emerged from their dens, eager to see the spectacle. On the morning of the race, the forest was filled with a vibrant buzz. The sun rose gently, casting a golden hue over the treetops. The air was crisp, and the scent of wildflowers filled the breeze. Animals from every corner of the forest gathered near the starting line, chattering excitedly. Swift was hopping in place, full of nervous energy. His fur gleamed in the morning light, and his eyes were sharp with confidence. Serena, on the other hand, moved slowly to her position. There was no hurry in her movements, only a quiet assurance that she was exactly where she needed to be. The younger animals continued to snicker, whispering to each other that the race would be over before it even began. But Serena paid them no mind. She focused on her breathing, calming her nerves. She knew her strength was in her persistence, not in her speed. The owl referee hooted loudly, signaling the start of the race. Swift took off like a flash, leaving a whirlwind of dust in his wake. Crowd erupted in cheers. Within moments, he was far ahead, darting between trees and leaping over rocks. Too easy, he thought as he glanced back, seeing nothing but the dust cloud he had left behind. Serena, meanwhile, began her slow, steady march. She kept her eyes on the path ahead, paying no attention to the cheers or jeers around her. With each step, she felt the earth beneath her feet and the rhythm of her heart. She knew that rushing would only tire her out. This was her journey, and she would walk it in her own time. As Swift sped ahead, he grew more and more confident. By the time he reached the halfway point, he was so far ahead that he couldn't see or hear Serena at all. Feeling invincible, he decided to slow down. "I have all the time in the world," he thought, and began to playfully hop around, chasing butterflies and picking flowers. Eventually, he came across a large tree with cool, inviting shade. "I've got plenty of time," he reasoned. "Why not take a little nap?" So he curled up beneath the tree and quickly fell into a deep sleep. Serena, meanwhile, never stopped. She crossed streams, climbed small slopes, and carefully navigated around rocks. Her progress was slow, but it was steady. The animals who had been watching Swift's impressive speed were now beginning to admire Serena's unwavering determination. She didn't pause, didn't hesitate. Step by step, she continued, her eyes always focused on the distant finish line. Hours passed, and eventually Serena quietly passed by the sleeping Swift. She moved so silently that he didn't even stir. The animals watching were astonished. Could this tortoise actually win? When Swift finally woke up, he stretched lazily and yawned. To his shock, he saw Serena far ahead, steadily making her way up Rainbow Hill. "No, this can't be happening," he thought, panic rising in his chest. He sprinted with all his might, faster than he ever had before, but it was too late. Serena crossed the finish line, greeted by cheers and applause. Swift arrived moments later, breathless and bewildered. I can't believe it," he panted. Serena, with her kind smile, simply said, "Life is not about speed, Swift. It's about perseverance and never giving up. We all have our own journeys, and it's not about who finishes first, but who stays true to themselves." From that day forward, Swift learned to value patience and effort. He no longer sought to outshine others, but instead found joy in the journey itself. Serena became a beloved mentor to all, teaching them that with steady persistence, even the most impossible challenges can be overcome. And so the animals of the forest learned that sometimes the true measure of strength lies not in how fast you go, but in how far you are willing to keep going. The moral of the story is that persistence and determination are just as valuable as speed or natural talent. The story also teaches that arrogance can lead to failure, while humility and resilience, even in the face of challenges, can overcome great obstacles. In short, true success comes from perseverance and consistency, not just haste or strength.